Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Liz 11 from Ethereal Energy and Healing Arts. It's Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. And I haven't done a video in quite a bit, but I figured it was time to jump on and do a video. I had just gotten back from Egypt last Friday, and I was out there for 2 weeks, and I have a lot of information to share, but I won't make this a super long video. By the way, if you like my content, like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me get the word out, and just helps visibility. So I appreciate that. So Egypt was a whole other world. I might as well have been on a different planet. It felt like time didn't exist there. I felt like things kind of run all day. It was hard to tell what time it was, what day it was. And in some ways, it didn't really matter, besides the fact that we were on tours and had to go to certain places at certain times because it was a really jam-packed schedule. And also, if you're interested in doing this Egypt trip, Sarah and Suzanne, who are QHHT practitioners, organized the trip. They're doing 2 trips next year. So if you're interested in going to Egypt, which I highly recommend if you're pulled to do that at all, definitely hit me up and I can get you in contact with them, because they'll be releasing the next trip for next year pretty soon here. So, and they fill up really fast. So for me, like, I had so many downloads, and there was a lot of stuff that I'm realizing as I get home and like integrate my experience into my day-to-day life. There were a lot of questions that I went into Egypt thinking about that I definitely feel like I got answered. And a lot of, emotional, mental, and physical healing involved. So one important thing that I want to mention is that we started our trip out at the Sphinx, which for me, like, it has the most amazing energy. It might have been my favorite site. There were a lot of favorite sites, so it's hard to decide which one is the best, because they all have different healing properties, and all the different sacred sites and temples, they all relate to different parts of the chakras. So Sarah had posted something really interesting about that, and I can repost that up for people who are interested. But so the Sphinx, like, it just has so much ancient knowledge. And one thing that Sarah's talked about in her books with her sessions for her QHHT sessions is that this information, you can tap into the Sphinx from anywhere in the world, that it's basically a consciousness, and that it's been around since the beginning of Earth to keep basically kind of like an Akashic record, but it keeps all the information that's ever been stored, that's ever happened, is stored in the Sphinx. So I had an interesting thing, like, we did a meditation in the Sphinx, and I had a dog, which I thought only there was like basically going to be cats in Giza, but there's not really cats at the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx. It's all dogs. And I was I had my eyes closed, and there's a picture of me, and this dog just came up behind me and just sat down, like, during the meditation. I don't know exactly how it went in when it got there. So it sits behind me, and right when I closed my eyes and like the first part of the meditation, I felt its nose like hit my back next to like the sacral area. And I was just kind of like, oh, the dog's behind me, because we had seen a couple dogs coming in, but it had just sat right behind me. And I got the sense, like, from what I channeled, that the dog, they're protectors. It's like an ancient being that was protecting the sites. So I thought that was pretty cool that it sat behind me, and I don't know, it just really ignited some kind of, I don't know, like, sense of protection, but also like the dog felt safe being next to me. I really liked that, and it made me feel good. And one confirmation I got too is that my friend Lisa, she pulled a rock out of like behind where I was sitting, and I have a picture of it in my pictures, but it's like a dog with a crown. And that was just confirmation because I had channeled some stuff about this dog and just how it was an ancient being and a protector of worlds and how it was there like protecting us. So that was really cool. I feel like a lot of the animals that are around these sacred sites they're not really animals. They're just other beings and extraterrestrials that jump into these physical animals' bodies to keep guard of these temples and keep watch over people. So I thought that was kind of cool. A lot of cats like everywhere except Giza. Mostly just dogs at Giza, but cats everywhere else for sure. And then when we were in Abydos, me and my roommate, we had a cat that it was like screaming outside the door, and Heather went out there and this cat just ran in, and it was actually pretty cute. It didn't look like too rough or anything. It was a really cute cat, and it was an Egyptian Mao. Somebody had posted that saying that's what kind of cat it was, and that was like an older breed from like Atlantean times. But one message I had gotten is that the energy was very strong there and that we needed a cat in our room for protection. And this cat ended up staying with us the whole night we were there in Abydos. And that's where the Osiris temple is, where the flower of life was found on the side of the temple. It's like a private access only, so you have to have like a tour guide and get access to it, which I'm assuming on the next trips they're gonna have you go to the same place there and have private access to that. But that was super cool. But definitely, you know, the animals. There's also the thing with the camels. It's interesting because I've never rode a camel before, and I felt a little hesitant because of the way that they're kind of treated. I did feel that the camels are mistreated, but I also could sense that some extraterrestrials had come into the camels while we were riding them to kind of guide us on this journey. That was a message I had gotten after we had ridden the camels, because I was feeling very like drained from the camel riding, and it wasn't just because it was like kind of, you know, bumpy and all of that. It was kind of, you know, sad, like how they have, you know, people riding elephants in Thailand and that kind of thing, like circuses. It felt a little gimmicky. But luckily we did see some camels that weren't mistreated, so that was really nice to see, like some that you could just tell they were well kept and well loved. So that helped, but definitely, you know, the camels definitely needed some love, and I think the group we were with sent them a lot of love, so that was really cool too. So one thing I just wanted to talk about too is the whole Isis connection. So I feel like I've had a connection to Isis for quite a while. I had a cat that was named Isis, and one message I had gotten is that, you know, Isis had been with you and been kind of connected to you for quite a while. I also had this Isis statue that I had for a really long time, probably since like 2007 or 2008. I don't think I have it anymore since I moved, but I feel like I've always had this connection to Isis. So when we were in Egypt, I was feeling really ill, which seems to be common. There's a lot of people who got kind of sick on the trip because you're just detoxing a lot, and it kind of happened to a lot of people. Not everybody, but kind of depends on your diet and, you know, where you're at in life, what you're trying to do, and what's, you know, going on with you. So I had Isis come to me in the middle of the night. It was like 3:15 in the morning because I was having major chills. I wasn't feeling good. I was feeling like kind of scared because I felt like I was running a fever, and I was just kind of concerned with, you know, the way I was feeling on this trip. and she came to me and she told me to go and take a bath. So I'm in, this hotel in Egypt. I have a roommate. I'm going into the bathroom to run this bath because we just happened to be in this hotel room that had this like amazing bathroom with a bathtub. And I went and listened and I did what she said, and I was feeling really shitty, and I was just kind of asking her. I was like, we're supposed to go to the Temple of Philae tomorrow. Do you think that I can go? Because I'm not really wanting to go. I'm really feeling pretty bad. And she said I had to go. So I tried to rest. I tried to get better that night. I took that bath. It did help a lot. She kept communicating with me and kind of keeping me on track for getting to this temple, because this is where, for me, and I think other people on the trip as well, received a lot of healing. So I was like really struggling. I wasn't feeling good at all. And one message that I had gotten from her was that I was decalcifying my pineal gland and I was detoxing quite heavily. So that was all a part of the detox process, but she said that I had to make it to this temple. And I did make it to the temple. I struggled. I was not feeling well at all. It was very, very hot. But I had constant like headaches, and I had to like pee a lot. And I could literally feel the toxins coming out of my body at this temple and at other sites too, but it was definitely very pronounced here, where it was like, I have to go here because I have to connect to this Isis energy. So you get to the Temple of Philae, you get on a boat, and we went to one site that was kind of like the original place of where the temple really was. And the energy was so powerful there. And she immediately came in. We all did a meditation there. And she immediately came in and, told me a bunch of things, but also started sending me kind of like, I guess you could call it a healing. She started sending, like, I could see like the Eye of Horus come through. I could see an Ankh. I saw this like DNA spiral she sent me, which had like pink and green energy attached to it, and it just was like going through my whole body. And I had the communication with her was very prevalent there, like super intense. She told me that, I was going to work with her more and channel her more. So that was kind of my experience in a little nutshell. So after that, I feel like I definitely got opened up more after getting that, because I know that, and this is something I've been working on, is like detoxifying the body, because we are poisoned, with all of these different chemicals in the air, in our food, in our water. I mean, even if you're as clean as possible, it's kind of hard to avoid all these toxins that we're constantly taking in. So I really felt that she came in and she really did help me heal and do this healing. And one other instance that I thought was cool was, so that morning after I had that bath and everything, my roommate had woke up, and I usually wear this like glitter that is like this fairy glitter. And I put some on, and for whatever reason, like all this glitter just started flying around the room, like for, I don't know, like a good, at least like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And it was like just shining and shimmering everywhere. And so that was going on, and I felt like that was her, and that was a sign. And then when I was in one of the temples and we were doing one of the tours at the Temple of Philae, the Isis temple, the tour guide was talking, and I saw like all of this glitter inside the temple just going all over the place. So it was definitely another confirmation for me that she was there, because I wasn't putting on any glitter in the temple. It was just all over the place. I don't know anybody else who saw it. So I'm not sure if that was just something I had seen in the temple, but I saw all this glitter just go everywhere. And so that was pretty cool. So yeah, it's an energy that I feel like I'm connecting to more and more. I feel like it's a divine feminine energy. I feel like it's something that everyone can tap into, and there's a certain healing aspect that comes along with working with her. Also Hathor, I don't feel, for me personally, I know other people connected with Hathor more, or just as much. I really gravitated towards Isis. I heard Isis speaking to me and coming to me, and I feel like I can continue to hear her coming to me and speaking to me, especially when I ask. So if I ask, I can contact her and get information and get in tune with her. So that was a little bit of Egypt. Definitely a lot more than that, but we were out there for like 2 weeks, so there was just a lot of stuff that happened. The Nile is also a really magical river, and it just felt really good. It felt really familiar. So that was super cool, and I'm still processing a lot. I also had a lot of confirmation about the dragons and working with them. After I went to Egypt, I feel like I can hear the dragons. I see like certain colors. I can like feel if they're around. I can call them in. Excuse me. When I was sick and I wasn't feeling good that day, I called in like a shitload of dragons, a lot of rainbow dragons for protection. A couple of the people that were on the trip were like psychic mediums, and they had told me, which I kind of figured because I was not feeling good, that I'd gotten like psychically attacked by some spirits in one of the hotels. So I've really been working a lot on grounding and taking that more seriously, just because I feel like I'm kind of an antenna, and when I go into somewhere, it's like things are attracted to me, and I don't want anything getting attached to me. So I feel like I kind of dealt with some of that in Egypt as well. But super powerful energies. I want to do like some kind of Isis meditation and tap into that energy. And I'm working with dragons more. It was interesting. This woman, she had this picture, and I've posted it, and this chick has blue hair, and she has a dragon with her, and she kind of looks like me. And one of the women on the trip, she had a meditation where her sister had come to her, and it was a dragon, but like her sister was the dragon, and she was wondering and she needed confirmation, and somebody had told her, oh, Liz works with dragons. You should go talk to her. So we talked about it, and we're gonna talk some more now that we're back in the States. But she ends up pulling out this picture that she needs to show me. And I was like, oh my God, I was like, this picture like looks like me. So it kind of tripped me out. It was just a huge confirmation about working with the dragons and their energy, and I really felt their energy a lot in Egypt, and I feel very connected to them even more than I already was. So that's super cool. But anyways, if you want to do a session, I have my online website. It's etherealqhht.com. I'm going to be doing a past life regression workshop here close to home in Indy Atlantic, hopefully sometime in the next month. And then maybe something online. And maybe some kind of like dragon channeling workshop, or if you want to work with your dragon directly, we can do a Zoom call. So I'm open to all of that and have some availability right now. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you want to book a session, feel free to hit me up. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps me. Other than that, have an awesome day. And also, if you're interested in going to Egypt next year and you want the info, definitely hit me up and I can get you connected with them. All right, have an awesome day. Bye.